Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man? How things?
Things are really great. This World Superbike weekend was pretty awesome at the Portimao roller coaster racetrack.
Right.
And then now we got MotoGP this weekend, so I'm excited.
All right, man, let's get into it. What do you think about the sprint race? I mean, not the sprint race, race one of World Superbike, and is it a foregone conclusion with Top Rack?
Yeah, I said it last round. Top Rack has won multiple races back to back. Not even just being on the podium, but having the strength to pull out first place for multiple rounds. I think he has this one in the bag. For where he sits now is over 100 points, I believe.
Yeah.
Almost 100 points above, almost
100 points.
But for a guy who's won 13 races in a row, yeah, I think it's in the bag.
It might be in the bag, man. It might be in the bag. What do you think about the struggles of Alvaro and what Bulaga's doing? Anoni's trying, but it seems like Petrucci's he's coming into his own.
I mean, I know you're not giving excuse me, Top Rack the benefit of the doubt. Still saying that there's someone else that has a chance, but Bautista, for some reason, he had a terrible start. I don't know if it had to do with all the practicing, but he had a terrible start. We'll put him in deep in the field. I want to say like 12th or 14th or something like that. And he had to fight all the way back. Like, we know that it's a good skill of his to charge back and, pull like Marc Marquez style. But, for being behind so many points, you got to do a little better. But he is struggling a little bit. But he did pull out a second place. So, I mean, he came back from all the way in the way back. I mean, Petrucci, surprisingly, from the injuries he came off of, and he don't give an inch. He's another dog rider. He fights to the finish, and he did really well this weekend as well. Proud of him to get on the podium, too.
Yeah, he did in race one. To get on the podium and to fight. It seems like the other BMW guys, they're starting to find their way, but they're still, struggling. It looked like Van der Mark was close, but then he slipped back down in the positions and stuff like that. So what do you think about the other BMW riders?
Speaking of the other BMW riders, they rode really well this weekend. And my guy, Garrett Gerloff, did really well the first race. So surprisingly, I think he was top 6, which that is really good results for him, at least this weekend, especially him signing to a new team deal with Kawasaki for 2025. So the BMWs, I thought, rode really well this weekend.
Yeah, that is a huge deal. Huge for Gerloff to get signed. I'm happy that he's still on the World Superbike paddock for 2025. Sure. It's I think the other BMW, they are riding better, but it's still, I think they got a little bit to go, because it seems like the Ducatis for the most part, obviously Sam Lowe's, I think he's still out on injury and stuff like that. With Petrucci, Bulaga, and even Alvaro. Alvaro crashed out in the race too, but he had the pace.
Yeah, so I mean, you talking about Alvaro at the pace?
Yeah. Like, well, just the Ducatis in general.
Yeah, they definitely had the pace. I just don't know what it was. If it's just the start. I mean, they were all in the front, but Top Rack is just playing until he feels ready to take off. I mean, you see, after race one, they put a set of wings on the back of him, knowing that he'd be flying.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, what do you think about Bulaga I mean, he's second in the championship at the moment. It's I suspect unless I don't know how many rounds are left, but I think it's going to be hard to recover from that. I think it would have to be Ducati 1, 2, 3 for the rest of the season to gain back some points from Top Rock. Even if he finishes on the podium, he probably still has third or even fourth on the races finishing. He'll probably will still get the championship.
Yeah, I mean, as a rider, he probably won't relax. Probably just ride the same way for the rest of the year. Um, but he doesn't really have to. I think they said he has to finish like 7th or something like that for the rest of the season. He can still pull it out. That's the Ducatis will have to do something. I know one thing. Was it Sam Lowe's on the Cowie?
Alex Lowe.
Alex Lowe's. He was riding really well for the weekend as well, also, but for some reason that Kawasaki just drifts away towards the end. I feel like they fight really hard for the first couple laps because that's all it has.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like Top Rock or the riders that was in front, like Buliga, would notice, just give it time, and then just find a way to pass him, and he just starts drifting back. So the Kawasaki, I think, performed really well. But I think Ducati's the only one that really has a chance to interfere Top Rock. I mean, he wasn't supposed to do all this. I mean, to exceed all of his BMW teammates and plus everyone on the season for being on this manufacturer first time. I mean, it's pretty impressive. We see Jonathan Ray struggling, and multiple riders struggling, just can't figure it out. So,
yeah, I mean, the only other rider only two riders that's really done what Top Rock's done well, in Top Rock's case, he's switching manufacturers. In Alvaro's case, when he came into World Superbike, he was pretty dominant his first year as well. And the same thing with Scott Redding when he first came on the Duck as well. And you saw, even Alvaro struggled for a couple of years, and then he went to Honda, right? And then came back to win the two titles he's won in the last couple of years. So, it's rare. I mean, Marc Marquez is close because he's on the podium, but he's not winning and dominating like that, switching, manufacturers and stuff like that. So he is a rider that at the moment, his future is pretty bright. And, with the, if the rumors are true and BMW does come into MotoGP at some point in the near future, because from what I understand, I think they're looking at Suzuki spec and stuff like that. And if they come out with an 850 cc engine for 2027, and Top Rock, I think he's 27 now, so he's still young enough to ride in MotoGP. But I suspect if it would either have to be on the BMW on a new project, or if he came to MotoGP, he'd want to be on a winning bike. You know what I mean? So it's really Ducati, Aprilia, KTM.
Yeah, definitely if he comes to MotoGP, he's not going to be on a satellite team. He definitely want to be on one of the top manufacturers. But yeah, it looks like a BMW project's going to be pretty big. I mean, they kept him for another season. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. And shout out to Danilo Petrucci for signing another year on the Barney Ducati. I think he had a good shot to fight for the factory seat. I mean, granted, he's hurt because of we probably would have saw what we're seeing now earlier if he wasn't hurt. But I think if he continues to ride well, who knows what happens in 2026. And it sounds like Alvar is probably going to re-sign with Ducati for 2025. I don't know if it's going to be year by year or whatever. So it looks like Andre Annoni probably he's going to stay where he's at as well with the 11 team, which again means that he's probably going to have to come out a little bit of money out of his pocket to make sure that bike is the same spec as the factory bike.
Yeah, I know. He had a good start to the year, especially what he's been through. But it'll be good to see him back. Obviously, in the same World Superbike next year. And Petrucci for sure is for what he is now, like his age and what he's been through. He's still a strong rider, and he's a great teammate. Definitely one of the higher performance riders out there.
Right.
So he deserves that seat as well. You know, Top Rock is just leading the series and just gonna. I feel like it's just Albert Bautista. It's how old is he now? Like 39, something like that. 38.
I would have to look. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Maybe definitely over
I mean,
35. So
it's not that has he's still competitive. I mean Rossi did it in his 40s, but it's just Top Rock's 27. I mean, it's just much harder for Albert at this point.
yeah, I agree. As anyone gets older, it's going to get harder. I don't mean, although if you look at LeBron James, he's making it look like it's nothing. But for the most part, we do slow down, and it is harder. Takes more effort as you get older to stay in shape and stuff like that. And you look at life a little differently too. So the whole mindset is a little different of as far as when gearing up to go racing and stuff like that. So we'll see. But I think that the Ducati is going to be competitive next year with that 2025 Panigale. We saw what that did at the WDW, I believe it was. So
you're drooling over that thing, huh?
Oh, listen, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. One might end up in the garage for sure.
Yeah.
So and at the moment, again, I think this last weekend was the closest weekend for Alvaro to show that he can run with the BMW. And so I think, I don't know if it's too late in the season, but also even Buliga as well right now, because Top Rack didn't stretch them out like he did the round before. So I think the Ducatis are coming closer to catching him. The downside is that I'm sure BMW is doing things in their side to get even more tense. So
Oh yeah.
and I think that's the race that we're going to see towards the end of the year. I think for Ducati, I think it's a win-win. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say they're holding up the white flag at the moment on the championship for this year. But I think it's going to be really hard for them to come back. And I mean, and the only person that you can send would be Buliga, because he's the closest one in points. And so he would have to, and he's a rookie, so you really can't. It's a situation where I don't want to say it's like the Patriots when they were 18-0 and lost the Super Bowl, but I think for Ducati, I think they'll be in a great position for next year. And again, let's wait to see what the season end looks like at the end, because I think it will get more competitive as far as the Ducatis chasing down Top Rock. Right, that's gonna and like I said, we saw that the last round, so it'll be definitely interesting to see how the season plays out. But like we say, it's gonna be really hard for another manufacturer to win the title.
I feel that right now. I think we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. All right, so we're a little bit halfway past the season. There's 4 rounds left, I believe. 5 rounds left. There's 5 rounds left. The next one they're going to Motul French. So what is that? Le Mans, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that means 15 races left, 5 rounds.
So yeah,
They're more than halfway through. Yeah.
more than
And
halfway
then you can
through.
do the math on that.
Yeah, no question
It's
there.
a miracle.
So let's talk about the WCR real quick. It what do you think? What do you think about the racing? The races over the weekend. It like I've said before on one of the previous shows. It looked like there are 4 riders that are kind of out front and staying out front.
Yeah, Maria Herrera, being her skill level, she's always running out front. Sarah Sanchez, Anna Carrasco, it's starting to be the familiar riders with the WCR, or at
Yep.
least the top three.
And Beatrice.
Um, yep. There's some really skilled, very skilled. I mean, it's very fun watching them, I must say.
Yeah.
Um, Rooting for the USA. Mallory Dobbs is not having any type of luck this year
Right.
at all. So I feel for her. But so far, so good. I mean, this is a great season. These girls are fighting hard. I mean, it's always coming down towards the end,
Yep.
at least to find out who's going to be first or even second.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a really cool race, especially being at this Portimao roller coaster because it's a tough track for any rider, as they say. Very physical, so very nice to see.
Right. Yeah, I think Maria Herrera. I mean, she's up by 7 points right now, next to Anna, behind, in front of Anna Carrasco, and it's going to be hard. I mean, it's only, I don't know how many. I think they 7 rounds in all, so I think they must have. I think this is round 4 for them, I believe. So they may have 3 more rounds. So it's going to be a battle between the two of them. I mean, Sarah Sanchez, she's at 108 points. Maria's at 129. Anna Carrasco, 122. So I mean, she got to start winning some races. Sarah Sanchez to even pulling close, but it looks like Maria Herrera is the favorite. I mean, Anna is doing everything she can, and she's trying. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's because of Maria just has a little bit more experience in the European series on a bigger bike, and also in Moto E. I don't even know what would class that as, but I assume that Moto E bike is a little bit more powerful than the R7, and so I think she just has more experience racing bigger bikes than Anna, where she's been on the the 300 or the Moto 3 bike.
Yeah, I agree. I think that has a lot to do with it. Her experience is finally setting in. I think that Moto E for sure with the speed and the competition level, and then going down to the R7 is like you're already calibrated to a certain level. I mean, it's just an advantage, and she's for sure using it to her advantage. So
Yes, she is.
I think that has a lot to play.
No doubt. And let's jump into MotoGP before we wrap up, man. Who is it? Ayagura has just been announced that he's on a track house for 2025, Aprilia. I think we all kind of saw that coming. Like I'd mentioned before, and I even saw on a different podcast, an American rider was just talking about with Joe Roberts, retired American racer. I think there was some beef with Aprilia and Joe Roberts not signing when he first had the opportunity to sign 4 or 5 years ago, or whatever the case may be, and I think they're holding that against all the riders. That I don't think Joe was the only one. You know what I'm saying? So that part is very unfortunate. But shout out to Ayagura for getting that seat. He's been riding really. He's always ridden well, and he's a classy dude, and I can't wait to see what he does on that Aprilia, because his riding style, I think he's gonna be a force on that Aprilia.
Right. You didn't think they were gonna forget, man? That was a few years ago. Man, look at me now. Like I'm ready. I'm ready. What do you mean you're bringing up old stuff? But yeah, I mean that. Hopefully that's not the case. But I mean, I don't. Obviously, we can't dig too deep because we don't know all the information. But that seems like the case. And for Iagora, being uh almost winning the championship, I think 2 years ago.
Yep.
And got injured. Didn't have a great season. This year he started out pretty good. Very well deserving. Like you said, the direction that we were visioning, that he was going to go replace Taka. So it was kind of, out of the blue to see him jump on Trackhouse, knowing that they had opportunity for new adventures. But I like the mix up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll do well on the Aprilia for sure. I mean, it's not the Ducati, like, going straight to Ducati is like going to the Celtics or the Lakers. It's just the market is too high, too much pressure.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a good field to start in Aprilia.
No doubt.
And I don't know how old Igor is either. So I don't know if it's just think he's ready with the age level. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think they had to bring some. It's interesting because you still got some guys in MotoGP. Obviously, that's not going to have a seat. Augusta Fernandez. At the moment, Jack Miller. We'll see. There's
Hope he
talk
goes
of
to Yamaha.
there's talk that he might go to Yamaha Pramac. So hopefully, I'd love to see Miller stay in MotoGP. I think he's a I don't want to say a vet, but he's a good vet to have in the paddocks, especially for these riders. And he's a real dude.
At least to 2027, when they switch to CCs, like they're gonna miss the Miller taxis. They're gonna miss all that support that he has for everybody when tough situations come about. I mean,
Right.
he's always sticking up for a lot of people. So, granted, he's going through the tough times, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has much fight in him. I don't know if teams or teammates is interfering or anything like that, or I don't know
Right.
what it is.
Right.
Just
So
hoping he get a reboot.
okay.
Hopefully, he gets to Yamaha and stay in GP for another couple seasons.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Taka Nakagami hasn't been re-signed yet, so we don't know what's going to happen with him. We have another Morbidelli hasn't been signed yet, but it sounds like he's probably going to go to the VR46 team. We know there's one seat left. So I don't for Furman Aldeguer as far as with the Ducati contract. So it's either he's going to Rossi's team or he's going to Grassini's team. Aldeguer. So but I assume Morbidelli is going to go to Rossi's team, and so I think those seats are going to be locked up. I think the only seat that's left open at the moment will be Taka Nakagami's seat. And I guess the other seat for Pramac as well.
That's interesting. What if they sign Joe Roberts to Taka now to replace Taka?
I don't. Well, if he didn't go to Aprilia then, I don't know if he's gonna go to Honda now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying it would just be a coincidence or something like that. But yeah, I'm not sure. I have to see who's left and who's deserving of the seat. Yeah, we're filling up quick.
Yeah, filling up quick, and we got the Austria Grand Prix kicking off this
I
weekend
think
coming
Taka
up.
will be resigned.
You
I
think
think
so?
Taka will be resigned though. Yeah, I mean, they did this last year or the year before, I believe. I don't know if he signed 1-year deals, but the last time felt like it was very late in the year when they re-signed him, and it
Right.
was just like, wow, they just keep re-signing him, and that's why I figure like he's just gonna be on this team forever. Like we thought Mark was gonna be on Honda forever. So
Right. So yeah, we shall see. I hope he gets signed. I'm a fan of Taka Nakagami, and he was really quick in Moto 2. I mean, I think he came on into MotoGP on a Honda when the Honda was struggling, and that made it very hard, and is making it very hard. So even Mir was just with Honda for a couple of years, and he was frustrated. We have to assume, I don't know what Taka Nakagami does to alleviate some of the stress because he's been with Honda the project since he got into MotoGP.
right. I mean, I really want him to get signed, but now I say that I wish he can go to another manufacturer because before he retires, I do want to see him on the podium.
Right.
I can't see it happening with Honda unless I can't see it.
Unless they keep him for a couple of more years, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when the 2027 season when they're on the 850.
Right.
But I think that's a reboot for some of these manufacturers. I think when Yamaha, Honda had their 800cc bike in MotoGP back in when with Lorenzo and those guys, I think it was like 09, somewhere around there. They were pretty competitive. So I think it'd be a reboot for a lot of those guys. a lot of those manufacturers and satellite teams. So, we'll see. It's a business, and if the sponsors are there and so forth, I think they probably will sign him back. And it looks like that team likes to keep a Japanese rider on a ride, so on the bike. So who knows? Let's see. Who are there any favorites? Do you have any favorites for this round? Is it is it Pecco, Bastianini, Martin?
This is Mark Marquez's chance, man. This is Mark Marquez's chance. I mean, I'll take him as a favorite. I want to see Brad Binder. There's certain tracks where it's like this gives you motivation. Like I know Brad Binder won when he was in the rain, but he's also done pretty well at this track. Jack Miller. We know that Jorge Martin's always going to have the pole lap or Pecco. It's just more of trying to stay in front of them if you can. Have them fight around you. But Mark has to be up there.
Right. Shout out to the folks that answered the poll question of who's going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. It looks like at the moment, out of all the voters, everyone is picking Bastianini. Believe it or not, right? And which is interesting because the other poll in the past it was always like Bagnaia, and now it's Bastianini. I don't want to say I think Martin, Bastianini are still pissed, and I think that's going to give them an extra edge to. I'm not sitting here saying they want to prove that they should have had the factory seat for 2025, and I think that extra edge we're seeing it. We talked about it when they were on the break, and now we're seeing that. So I don't, Mark can do what he want to do. I don't like when somebody, you hear about the Jordan stories back in the day and him being pissed at people and go up there and put up 50 on the board or 40 on the board or any of these things. Their business is in the public and so forth. So I think for Martin and Bastianini, even though they're holding face, I think they're a little embarrassed about that because again, it's the fuel that Martin and Bastianini have for not being selected for the factory seat is that motivation that I don't know if Marquez can get around. You know what I mean? Because so far we're seeing that, and even now you have the media asking these guys, did Ducati make the right choice? Did Ducati make the right choice? And you're seeing like, because I hope they did. We'll see for 2025. But I think with 2024, Marquez is going to have to do first of all, right? He's looking for a toe to even qualify well, right? Mm-hmm. So okay, you get a toe, but then now in the race, and you're being not nasty about it, but nobody wants to give you a toe, bro. So it's kind of like, and you're sitting here still just sitting behind, causing other people that mess up their track time because you're riding slow, waiting for somebody. And we have like a trail of 5 or 6 bikes waiting for a tow. So until Marquez can just go out there and do laps, it's really going to be hard. And them dudes are seeing that. So they're not going to be scared of him because he ain't comfortable on the bike yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things like, I could be wrong, but it's going to be hard. I think Digia, and I can't even speak on Bezecchi, but at least Digia is riding really well. And Digia may be the top 2023 bike for the year because he has more experience on that bike. And they're sorting that bike out more. So, I say all that to say it's going to be really hard for Marquez to get on the podium because Bagnaia, Bastianini, and Martin, I don't think any of those guys wanted him to be on the factory seat.
No, I believe that for sure. I just know like the race results from the track that I feel like Mark can definitely be on the podium, and we know how he can ride, especially when he's in the back of the field. And I'm still rooting for Jorge Martin or Pecco to pull it out, and to bring on like Ducati topic is something that I heard Pecco talk about as well. I think Ducati had too much good choices, and I think they fell on the easy result. Not saying Mark Marquez was the easy choice to become a factory rider, but he's already proven, a lot of things. And you want to make a superstar. Like, they didn't know Pecco was going to win two in a row. Like, they saw the vision in him as he was young. Like, you can do the same thing with Bastianini, or even Jorge Martin. Just unfortunate that you had to choose one of the two riders. But to throw Mark in there, just I feel like what Pecco was saying, that they get they have 8 bikes, so they can see 8 riders' data. So there's 7 top riders basically on your team, and you can learn much faster. Now you're giving away 2 of the riders to another manufacturer, which is going to make it close, but you lose their data. And you bring in Mark, who doesn't have, the data that you're used to seeing, and it's just going to be challenging. Especially, like you said, he does the toe thing, and who knows if they're going to butt heads, and it's just a big risk, I think. But hopefully it ends out for the better. But for this race, I think Mark is going to be up there.
All right, we shall see. I'm looking forward to the race, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, man. So let's shout out the sponsors, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Oh yeah, so official Vortex, Hideaway RV Rentals, J&G Performance, and Woodcraft Technologies for helping me out for my racing.
No doubt. I want to shout out Workbench Tech. Go to workbenchtech.com for all your IT needs. Go to B4evaKool.com. Get all your HY gear there. Check us out. Check out the website and subscribe. Please continue to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and also check us out on Spotify, on Amazon Music, on Apple Music, on iHeartRadio. I want to thank everybody for commenting and supporting us, man. We've been doing this almost 2 years now. Pretty cool. Peace.
Appreciate it all. Peace.